Hello, folks. Welcome back to Ferox Frank Reviews. And I just want to apologize. I've been very busy for the last couple of weeks, and I'm sorry I haven't been pumping out as many films as I said I was going to. But whatever. Shit happens. I had a good birthday. I had some good eats with my family, and so on and so forth. And I know Troy from Troy's trying to get me a gift somewhere. I haven't met up with him yet because he's been busy too. So, hey, shit happens when you're busy. Anyway, today I want to review a movie. Now, it was kind of a toss up between this one and a Steven Seagal film, but I'm not really feeling up to doing a Seagal film, unfortunately. I mean, I want to. I mean, I originally wanted to, but I guess it's not really a good time to do a Seagal film. So instead, I decided to watch a comedy, a black comedy. It was a black comedy. Well, it's not what you think. It's not exactly what you think it is. A black comedy is mostly a comedy with a lot of dark sketches into it, though. That's actually perceived as a comedy. And today's movie is called Eight Heads in a Duffle Bag. What's the premise of this movie? The premise is that a wise guy here played by Joe Pesci, is supposed to be transporting eight heads inside of a duffel bag across the country, but thanks to a mix-up at the airport, which I'll get to that sooner or later, which is beyond fucking stupid. His bag gets switched with another bag, and well, dark comedy shenanigans ensue. Oh, yeah. Um. Okay, first off, one, fucking love Joe Pesci. I mean, God, he is just he's playing a mafia wise guy in this movie named Tommy. But here's the thing: this is just all kinds of crazy. But I really need to question the mobsters in this movie and ask them. Just need to ask him this: did they even think this through? Did they really think this through? I mean, I seriously have to ask: did they really think this through? Because the idea of them transporting the heads in this movie, clearly they took their stupid pills. Okay, look, all joking aside, I actually did enjoy this movie, but here's the reason why. I actually saw this movie a year after it came out. It didn't do so well in the box office. Yeah, it had a lukewarm reception, mostly negative reviews, and most people didn't really like it at first. But it sort of gathered a cult comedy following over the years. But when I was a kid, I was very, very sick one day, and this movie happened to be on, and okay, I decided to watch it, and I actually felt a little bit better afterwards. And it's all kinds of ridiculous. Here's the premise. Pesci's character, Tommy, actually lives in New Jersey, and he's supposed to take these heads who are actually enemies of a crime boss by the name of Big Step. And the way they say his name in the movie, they kept on calling him Big Step. Like, I'm not even joking. I actually looked it up on Wikipedia real quick just before I turned this video on. So I'm guessing that maybe the people on Wikipedia probably didn't even realize this, but when I heard the movie again, the character's name was pronounced Big Step in the movie, but for some reason, when the subtitles kept on popping up, it said Big Step for some fucking reason. I don't know why it was like that. So, honestly, it sounds ridiculous. And also, Step doesn't sound that good. If they call him Big Step, then okay, that makes more sense. So either way, his job is actually bring the heads across country from New Jersey to California. However, there's a big problem. When he gets to the airport, he has all eight heads inside of a duffel bag, and he actually boards an airplane by actually sneaking the heads on board over on carry-on. Okay, that makes okay. All right, that's actually okay. That's what they did there. But there's just one slight problem. But here's the thing: he actually winds up meeting a guy named Charlie, and Charlie's like our main character of the whole film. We are usually going to be following. We're going to be following him, and Charlie has some gifts, but But the thing is, like, Tommy's character is kind of a disrespectful. I was like, hey, can you take this out here? I need to get this thing up ahead. Okay, there we go. He puts the heads in the duffel bag on overhead, and then I don't know where. I swear to God, this wasn't planned. But to be fair, this is where the mafia. This is when the mafia in this movie took their stupid pills and didn't think this through. I was like, because this was bound to happen, and it actually did happen. A medical person, an EMT, comes aboard with a bag full of organs for immediate transport from New Jersey to San Diego. And that's where the plane's actually heading. And well, okay, so Pesci's character is kind of being an asshole about the whole thing and tries to stuff the thing under the bag. It's like, those are live organs, dumbass. Also, he can literally actually get his ass thrown off the plane for doing something that stupid. Also, the air hostess actually noticed something about his bag. It was much more heavier than expected. So he has to put it in cargo, and he tries his best trying to, keep it aboard. But he says, "No, either you put this and carry it. Either this goes underneath, or you get kicked off." So he has no other choice but to do underneath. And Charlie is like dismissive of him too, because Tommy was kind of being a disrespectful asshole to him at one point. So it's like, whatever. He tries to make conversation. He doesn't give a shit. And when they get to San Diego, the shit hits the fan. Charlie actually grabs his bag, and Tommy grabs the bag. But there's one problem. The bag is lighter than normal. Tommy realizes the bag was lighter than he normally expected. So he took it in the bag, and he freaks out because he finds out that Charlie took the wrong bag. Oh, shit. Yep, and here's where the comedy ensues. Yeah, Charlie meets up with his girl, Lori, and he meets her parents. Oh, I forgot what her parents' names were. Hang on a second. I got Wikipedia up here real quick. What are her parents' names? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Dick and Annette. Oh, that is just nice. Dick and Annette. And Dick is actually played by George Hamilton. And he probably needs to stay, and I think he needs to stay out of the sun for a while because he's ridiculously tan in this. And they go right down to Mexico. And George's character is kind of a dick. I mean, seriously, he's a real dick. I mean, he is kind of a dick. I'm not even kidding. Like, seriously, his name is Dick. He acts like a dick. It's good. The guy's a dick. Anyway, afterwards, Tommy actually winds up going all the way goes all the way across country to find, Steve and Ernie, Charlie's roommates in college. And one of them is being played by David Spade. So yeah, he's being an asshole in this movie. And when Tommy gets to them, he basically tortures them very comedically. It's okay. It's like he's not even trying to kill them, but it's like, okay, we know he needs them alive at some point, but still, it's really funny how he's actually doing it. I mean, he has them tied up. He actually has those doctor like ear things or something. He's got them both on. He's clacking them together. Clack, 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 clack. I swear to God, I think this was improvised by Joe Pesci, but it was still hilarious. And of course, David Spade being a sarcastic dickhead. Well, yeah, he's still doing his thing, being a sarcastic sack of shit. And to be fair, this is, I think, and this is a little bit after, and this is like one of the old, and we're used to seeing David Spade with Chris Farley at this point, and unfortunately, you know what happened with Chris Farley at this point, so yeah, very unfortunate, because I don't want to get into that. It's very sad and depressing, but let's just continue on the movie. Anyway, Annette actually winds up finding the heads, and she starts freaking out and starts drinking a lot. And of course, eventually, Charlie finds the heads, and he freaks out, and shenanigans ensue! Shenanigans ensue! Eventually, he winds up calling his buddies, and ironically, Tommy happens to be there, and he tries to tell them not to get rid of the fucking heads and shit. And he tells them, and well, at this point, he lost one of the heads, and of course, Tommy kind of freaks out, and he starts trashing the hallway. So yeah, you can kind of see where this is. So yeah, this is a little bit screwed up. So Tommy actually wasn't going through the college yearbook and actually looking for like a replacement heads at this point. And oh boy. And here's the thing: Charlie doesn't know anything about the gangsters, so Tommy's just randomly assuming, which head was lost at this point. At some point, like, okay, he was going to try maybe making it back to New Jersey, actually making it back to the college because there's an airport in the area where they have to go in. But there's a slight problem. He actually had to move the bags around a little bit, though, and actually move the heads around in one bag. And apparently, Dick grabbed one of the wrong bags and put it in the X-ray carry-on. And while they're being stalled at the airport because one of the luggages that's okay, the head with the bag with the heads go through, two heads go through, and the guys in security are not even looking at that. They're looking at the other bag and they're concerned that bag actually has a gun in it, though, but they're not too sure what it is. And it's like, okay, wait a minute. Here's the bag with the hair dryer that looks like a gun, and here's the bag with the heads. They're just looking at this one. Anyway, what does Dick do? He takes his hand into the X-ray machine, grabs the head. Anyway, they see it, they freak out, and they arrest him. Wow. Oh boy. And so now there's two heads in police custody down in Mexico. Not good. Not good. So yeah, Charlie calls Tommy and the guys up again. And he's like, yeah, we got a problem. We're gonna be stuck down here because like there are two heads because we tried to get through and there was a bit of a mix up in the airport and we lost two more heads. What? Tommy freaks the fuck out. And he starts looking at the heads. He's like, okay. And he's looking at, okay, wait a minute. He's going to kill a couple of professors to replace the heads. Anyway, David Spade's character literally comes in at this point and tells him, dude, this is a medical university. All right, if you kill a bunch of wise guys in New Jersey, nobody's going to give a shit about that. All right. But killing college professors here in one of the most pristine medical universities, it's going to turn a lot of fucking heads. Oh. So anyway, it turns out that the facility that the college are in is a high medical facility with a bunch of corpses in it. So and what they do, they literally go corpse shopping and look at a bunch of people who actually have heads that actually do match the mobsters that Joe Pesci actually is looking for. And they actually do. Anyway, the other roommate actually wants up cutting the heads off, and as they go back to the apartment, that one roommate who cut the heads off, he's legit freaking out while Joe Pesci and David Spade are having a normal conversation like they're talking about trading cards. Yeah, like baseball trading cards. And like these are human heads. Literally, the other roommate yells like, guys, these aren't baseball cards, there's human fucking heads here. And this is what they actually do. Joe Pesci's character does this. I'm sorry, what were we talking? I'm sorry, where were we at again? Oh, no, I said it was this head is bad. It's like, okay, so you have a good head. So you have blah, blah, blah. It's like, and the other character, and seriously, the roommate's like, oh. Anyway, there's a little moment where he's thinking about maybe cutting that guy's head off, but then he realizes that, okay, might as well. Anyway, it turns out he actually has a pilot's license, so he actually winds up flying them down to Mexico. But David Spade actually convinced him because if they can actually help him fly down to Mexico, they can actually go through customs or real easily with those heads they actually have with them at the moment, and that way he'll avoid a lot of the trouble, like he did last time. So okay, let's go. Anyway, Charlie tries to move the heads around again, but actually, and again another head. At this point, I should mention, like, his girlfriend, he and Lori, they actually get carjacked, and then he actually rents a car, which is actually the carjacked car. And, oh, lo and behold, those carjackers come back again and try to repossess the car. However, they open up one of the coolers in the back where one of the heads is, they all leave with they actually run out with the fucking key. Assholes! Actually, we don't see those characters again in the movie, but there's a rumor going around that there's a deleted scene, that those characters actually got picked up by the police at some point for carjacking, and they wound up doing life in prison. Supposedly, that's a supposed deleted scene. I honestly don't care because I really hated those characters. Anyway, Charlie is literally chasing a coyote that actually has one of the heads. Anyway, Tommy meets up with Lori, and okay, they actually have a net, and okay, Dick's mother is there, and she's a real bitch. I mean, seriously, she's a complete bitch. I mean, my God. I mean, if she was a dude, Joe would easily put her on the A list. Actually, I think he might. You know what? If I let Joe watch this movie, he might actually put her on the A list. I'm not even joking. I mean, he would legit put her on the A list. At some point, like freaking Joe Pesci throws her. They're driving down the countryside. Joe Pesci literally kicks her out of freaking the van at one point. And wasn't that dude? She's like, oh, oh my God, they can never die. Everyone just stops and just looks at her like, the fuck? Even Joe Pesci, he's okay. Freaking David Spade's driving the car. He's got to look at him like, okay, what you did was bad, but what she said there? Wow. Yeah. And you say, I'm pretty fucked up. Oh, let's just, okay, I'm driving. Fuck, lady. Earlier, she actually convinced one of the heads actually looks like one of the wise guys. Here's the thing: one of the heads that Joe Pesci actually has is actually a guy named Stu, and apparently he's actually one of the wise guys. He's supposed to one of the heads of the wise guy. He's supposed to bring down to his boss, Big Sep. And here's the thing: Annette actually used to date actually used to date the original mobster. And Joe and David are looking at each other like, "Oh my God, it actually worked!" Yeah. I should also mention at this point, the couple of the guys who actually did do the beheading in New Jersey, they actually see this thing on the news because one of their associates actually happens to be a Mexican or Spanish, so they're watching the Latino news, and they actually talk about this one guy who got arrested down in Mexico, and they see the heads that they're carrying around. It's like, wait a minute, those are the guys, bitch! So they head down to Mexico and go after Joe Pesci's character. But at some point, like they meet Tommy and the others actually meet up with Charlie. Tommy and Charlie actually they do a little chase in the desert. They stop and they talk, and then they go after the coyote again. So, however, they do have a bit of a conversation, and Tommy actually winds up taking the heads that he actually does have, and he just up and leaves. Leaves them behind. While Chris, I should also mention at this point too that what the other roommate who did the beheading of the corpses in the college, he's going crazy at this point. Yeah, I mean he's like fucking noisy. He's like legit going mentally insane, like making so many head jokes. It's like yeah, he was. You know what? I think you understand why this happened. It's because of the fact that he's in college. He's under a lot of pressure, and seeing that a mob's hitman actually came by and is trying to cut their heads off, and he actually had to cut heads off literally. Um, yeah, I think he just cracked under pressure. Yeah, okay, sure, makes sense. I feel sorry for that character because he's going mentally insane. But it gets more weird. Anyway, Lori actually wants him actually winds up actually jump starting the car. Charlie gets the last head back, and they actually and they head back into town. The mobsters actually keep an eye on keep an eye on Tommy. He basically rents a room out in a small hotel. He counts the heads. He actually has all the heads he needs, including the replacement heads, to actually replace the ones that Charlie actually lost, which is like what, maybe two or three. Charlie has one, and he has a couple of spare heads. So it's like, okay, fine, that works. Anyways, we get to one portion of the movie that most people may remember this movie for. As the heads are displayed on a table, on a countertop table, the window is closed. Joe Pesci's sleeping on the bed, probably passed out from drinking, and the heads just do this. Bum 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 bum. Mr. Hitman. I'm not even kidding. They literally sing Mr. Sandman, but they replace Sandman with Hitman. Yeah. And Joe's looking at them like, the fuck? All right, I had tequila, so I drank the worm. Fuck. But we're gonna go and shoot them. Oh, look! Oh my God! Another headless body's coming in here. Ah! And this whole thing happens with them just singing the song. It's all kinds of weird. But Joe Pesci later wakes up. It was a dream. Hey, that's what happens when you drink the worm with the tequila. Yep. Anyway, Tommy actually wants to go into a restaurant to get a breakfast before takes his flight out. And ironically, the mobsters actually follow him there, but they sit into a separate seat to keep an eye on him. Anyway, Charlie comes in with Tommy's gun, amongst all things. I guess Tommy forgot he gave him his gun. He probably dropped the gun somewhere, and so he just Charlie picked it up. So whatever. Charlie actually threatens the guys. He actually grabs Tommy's bag. He actually grabs the bag, Tommy's bag, with the heads in it, and they race out to the airport where the police are exactly. And the mobsters go right after them. It's like a huge it's like a huge chase thing. And for some reason, there's this bellhop guy that's in the movie the whole time, and he's with them the whole time in the last chase. Why? Oh, he was there from the beginning of the movie. He was there when they first arrived in Mexico. So all right, so he's in the last chase. Bravo, bravo. So they actually do. So they actually do get there. The mobsters actually get arrested, though. However, Charlie tells them to open the bag. There's some clothes in the bag and everything, though. But it turns out it's one of the heads that's actually in the bag is not one of the heads. All right, it's actually one of the spare heads. While this is going on, Tommy is literally is going right past the airport security with the bag. And yes, he actually replaced, and the extra head he actually also had, he replaced it with the main head he needed, which was actually in the back of the truck that Charlie actually had. So yeah. Also, there's a bit of a subplot with like Charlie's screenwriting story that he wanted to write. So yeah, they actually exchanged the bags. So the whole thing turns out was all planned. Charlie and Tommy actually made a plan where they would actually swap, where the mobsters would get arrested, and he goes back to the States scot free with the heads this time around. But there's something else I gotta mention too. While they were in the desert talking, Tommy actually happened to notice the freaking gangsters were watching them. And then Charlie says the one thing all of us were thinking at the same time. It's like, dude, if you knew the bag was heavy, why not just buy 2 bags at the gift shop and put the heads in the 2 bags? That way you can easily get them on carry-on. And the look on Joe Pesci's face is like, ugh, really? Also, with security being as tight as it was back in the late 90s when this movie was actually made, that would have never have happened. I mean, seriously, if they saw a giant bag like that, they would actually stop you, and if it was actually that heavy, security would have to take a look at it regardless. So, all right. I mean, even today, it'd be impossible to get that type of bag on the fucking plane. I mean, with the amount of weight, security would either thought there would be a gun or a bomb in there. So yeah, this would never have worked. Here's what they should have done. All right, here's what the mobsters should have fucking done, and this is why Big Step was a fucking moron. All right, don't use airfare. Okay, just get him in an ice truck. All right, take it cross country by truck or car. Yeah, it'll take at least about a week. It'll take maybe several days to up to a week, but it'll be safer that way. I mean, it's better doing cross country than taking a fucking plane. I mean, with a fucking plane, something like this actually wound up happening. Idiots. But in the end, Tommy actually gets the heads, and Charlie gets his the screenplay back for his book. So after that, oh yeah, his manuscript for his book. I'm sorry, manuscript. Sorry, I'm a little out of it right now, but hey, whatever. So anyway, so they go their separate ways, and the ending credits pop up right there on the spot where we see the characters' names all come up and everything, but we see what happened to them afterwards. Before the ending credits popped up, the other roommate has one of the alternate heads, and he's running around like, "This is my friend! I caught him!" The police chase after him. "No, you cannot have him! He's my friend! I caught him!" It's it's all kinds of fucking stupid, but seeing what happened to him during the credits, he's in a straitjacket at this point. Yeah, the ending credits pop up. Lori and Charlie get married. Dick actually gets out of prison this time around, but he has a tattoo on the back of his head called Gringo. And that is actually not as drinking as much. Surprisingly, Dick's mother is still alive, just heavily casted. David Spade's character is now a doctor. The other guy is actually in a straitjacket, like I said. And where's Joe Pesci's character, Tommy? He's in paradise right now because he delivered the heads to Sepp. And that is 8 heads in the double bag. Like I said, it wasn't. It actually didn't receive. It wasn't good on arrival, but like I said, it actually did develop a bit of a cult following as time went on. Afterwards, mostly on its video release, which is where I first saw it. So I was actually feeling very sick at the time, and my family went, my mom and my dad went out to the local video store, and we decided to get this movie. So we actually wound up getting a film for me as a kid, which was like either a PG-13 film or a PG film. Actually, now that I think about it, it was probably a PG-13 movie, like an action film or something, or an R-rated movie. And my dad got, I don't know if it was either my mom or my dad, but they actually wound up getting this movie too to go along with it. So I went back and forth between the movie I got from the rental store and this movie. And I did enjoy. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe Godzilla vs. Biollante at the time. Yeah, that could have been it. I mean, this was back in 1998, amongst all things. So yeah. And like I said, I was sick at the time. I enjoyed the Godzilla film I rented. And I got this film at the same time while I was watching it, which of course I did enjoy too. So yeah, this movie, like I said, is not that bad particularly. But the idea that the mobsters were not that smart and actually using like I don't know, put 8 heads in the duffel bag and take it up to the airport and keep it with you at all times. Yeah, worst case scenario actually happened with that. That's why the mob doesn't actually do stupid shit like this anymore. Idiots. Actually, I think maybe some of the, you know what? I think maybe something like this actually did happen back in the 80s or something to a real mobs, to a real crime family, and maybe that's how they were caught. I don't know. This actually seems like something that actually did happen at one point, and they decided to make a movie about it as as a commemoration joke of mobs of what mobsters shouldn't do. Honestly, if they were really that smart, they should have just I don't know, put the heads in ice and a couple of ice buckets and had the thing go across country, either by truck. That made more sense. I mean, if it's a cargo truck, they can actually just drive it across country without any problems. But nope, take it up to the airplane and have shenanigans happen. So yeah, that's 8 heads in the duffel bag. I do. Would I recommend this movie? Yeah, it's a black comedy, but it's like a particular taste black comedy. But the best part in the movie is obviously Joe Pesci. But seeing the chemistry he actually has with David Spade when they're on screen together, not bad, not bad. It's just a shame they didn't really have that much screen time together. But when they do, it's like yeah, they actually do have good chemistry together, which is kind of funny. And the whole thing with the heads usually getting lost and stuff with all the shenanigans with Charlie is pretty damn funny. So, like I said, I would kind of recommend this film. Anyway, tune in next time. I'll watch some other movie, and it'll be just before Thanksgiving. Anyway, until then, y'all take care. Fiox Frank, out.